The Horn of Africa and the Red Sea, situated at a crucial intersection of global trade pathways, have evolved into significant arenas for geopolitical rivalry. This area is vital due to its proximity to the Suez Canal, one of the world's most important maritime passages, facilitating a substantial portion of international shipping traffic. The geopolitical significance of this region has attracted attention from major global and regional powers. Global powers, such as the United States, China, France, and Russia, have strategically positioned themselves within the Horn of Africa and along the Red Sea. Each of these nations has established military bases or naval facilities in the area, underscoring their respective interests in maintaining influence over critical shipping lanes and regional stability. For instance, the United States has a significant military presence in Djibouti, housing Camp Lemonnier, its largest permanent military base in Africa, which supports operations across the continent and in the Middle East. China has also built a military base in Djibouti, reflecting its growing aspirations to protect its Belt and Road Initiative investments and secure its shipping routes. Similarly, regional powers including Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, Qatar, and Turkey have asserted their interests in this strategically pivotal region. These countries have been actively involved in establishing military bases and forging alliances. The UAE, for instance, has developed a military base in Eritrea to enhance its naval capabilities and extend its influence in the Red Sea. Turkey's military presence in Somalia highlights its strategic interest in balancing regional power dynamics and expanding its influence in African affairs. The presence of these military bases signifies an ongoing strategic contest propelled by national interests encompassing political hegemony, military dominance, and economic advantages. The political dynamics are shaped by the desire to project power and influence over regional governance and security. Militarily, these powers aim to secure crucial maritime routes and respond swiftly to regional conflicts or threats. Economically, control over the Red Sea corridor facilitates the safe and efficient transport of goods, energy, and resources, which are vital for global markets. This strategic competition manifests in various forms, including diplomatic engagements, military collaborations, and economic investments, each aimed at securing a foothold in this geopolitically vital region. Historical background of geopolitical competition in the Horn of Africa. The geopolitical landscape of the Horn of Africa has undergone significant changes since the end of the Cold War, reflecting a transition from a bipolar world dominated by the United States and the Soviet Union to a more complex, multipolar environment where numerous nations vie for influence. This transformation has led to multifaceted competition that has further complicated the region's political and economic structures. In the post-Cold War era, the Horn of Africa experienced a notable shift as traditional ideological confrontations gave way to competition involving multiple powers, each with diverse motivations and strategies. This region, which encompasses countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Djibouti, became a focal point for strategic interests due to its location along key maritime routes. The increased competition in the Horn of Africa is characterized by the involvement of a growing number of global actors, including nations such as Japan, India, and regional entities like the European Union, all seeking to assert themselves in the regional and global arena. An example of this is Japan's active engagement in anti-piracy operations off the Somali coast, underlining its interest in protecting maritime security and ensuring safe navigation for its commercial vessels. India, too, has sought to strengthen its ties with countries in the region, aiming to project its influence through economic partnerships and infrastructure development. Moreover, the resurgence of ideological conflicts in the Horn of Africa is closely linked to shifting alliances and divergent national interests. As regional and global dynamics evolve, new forms of ideological disputes have emerged, often intersecting with ethnic and religious tensions within the Horn. The rise of extremist groups and ongoing internal conflicts, such as those in Somalia, have prompted international actors to recalibrate their approaches, balancing military intervention with diplomatic efforts. Overall, the Horn of Africa exemplifies the intricate interplay of geopolitical forces in a post-Cold War world, where traditional power struggles are compounded by the ambitions of emerging actors and the complexities of regional dynamics. The competition among these powers not only reflects their desire to secure strategic advantages, but also highlights the broader implications for global political stability and economic development. Militarization in the Horn of Africa has been significantly influenced by the conflict in Yemen and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait's strategic importance. This strait serves as a critical choke point for global shipping, linking the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden, and is pivotal for regional and international players. The instability precipitated by the conflict in Yemen has heightened security concerns, resulting in a bolstered military presence by several countries seeking to safeguard their interests and assert control over this vital area. What are the key bases established in the region? Recognizing the strategic necessity, Saudi Arabia has established a military base in Djibouti. This outpost is crucial for Saudi efforts against the Houthi movement in Yemen, providing a tactical position to monitor and secure the sea lanes adjacent to the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. The UAE has strategically stationed military bases in Eritrea and Somaliland, which furnish a foothold in the region. The base in Eritrea, particularly in the port city of Assab, has been instrumental for logistical support and naval operations, significantly enhancing the UAE's military reach along the Red Sea. With a military presence in Mogadishu, Somalia and Swat in Sudan, Turkey seeks to rekindle historical ties and expand its influence in East Africa. The Mogadishu base serves as a training hub for Somali troops and a point of leverage in regional geopolitics. The United States has maintained a long-standing interest in the Horn of Africa, particularly since the events following 2001. The region's stability is critical to U.S. strategies aimed at combating terrorism and ensuring geopolitical stability. Camp Lemonnier in Djibouti, the largest U.S. military base in Africa, underscores this commitment. It serves as a pivotal point for counter-terrorism operations against threats like Al-Qaeda in Yemen and Al-Shabaab in Somalia, while offering logistical support for allied coalitions in the region. Despite its strong presence, the US has faced criticism over its interventions, with some questioning the effectiveness of its strategies in promoting democracy and long-term stability. China has made significant strides in the region with its first overseas military base in Djibouti, established in 2017. This base supports China's Belt and Road Initiative by securing critical maritime routes. Additionally, it facilitates humanitarian and peacekeeping operations, enhancing Chinese military cooperation in combating piracy. The establishment also exemplifies China's growing competition with the United States, particularly in Africa and the Middle East, as both powers vie for influence and resources. France's military engagement in the Horn of Africa dates back to its colonial era, maintaining extensive operations in the region. Djibouti hosts France's largest overseas base, reflecting its enduring commitment to regional security. France's operational role is multifaceted, involving close cooperation with African countries in peacekeeping missions and military training, which bolsters logistical support capacities for French and Allied forces alike. Turkey has been re-establishing its ties with East Africa under a neo-Ottoman vision, marked by its military base in Somalia. This base symbolizes a strategic shift in Turkey's approach to regional influence, extending beyond military presence to include economic ventures through infrastructure projects and humanitarian aid. These initiatives have strengthened Turkey's relationships with local governments, embedding its influence across multiple dimensions of regional affairs. Russia has recently turned its attention to the Horn of Africa, negotiating with nations like Eritrea and Djibouti for the establishment of military bases. Russia is focused on defense partnerships and creating a naval presence to enhance its Eastern African capabilities. However, Russia's efforts are complicated by competing interests with other regional players such as Turkey, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia, potentially leading to geopolitical friction. The European Union has crafted strategic plans to counteract terrorism and encourage stability in the Horn of Africa. The EU emphasizes regional integration through shared frameworks across sectors such as security and governance. Persistent partnership efforts, including summits and strategic engagements, showcase the EU's dedication to fostering a stable and cooperative environment in Africa. Regional powers, Saudi Arabia and UAE. Saudi Arabia's Djibouti base is strategically positioned to support counter-Houthi operations and safeguard its interests near the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. This base is vital for monitoring regional dynamics and securing maritime routes critical for Saudi economic and security imperatives. The UAE has been proactive in constructing military bases in Eritrea, Somaliland, and Puntland. These locations are strategically chosen to solidify the UAE's military presence and provide a defensive stance against perceived regional threats, thereby asserting the UAE's strategic aspirations in the area. Regional powers such as Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, Qatar, and Turkey have also been actively involved in establishing a military presence to expand their influence. The UAE's military base in Eritrea significantly boosts its naval capabilities along the Red Sea. Similarly, Turkey's base in Somalia represents its efforts to balance regional power dynamics and extend its footprint in African affairs. This multipolar competition is not just about military might. It encompasses a blend of political, military, and economic strategies. Politically, nations seek to dominate regional governance and security frameworks. Militarily, the emphasis is on securing maritime routes and responding promptly to regional conflicts. Economically, controlling the Red Sea corridor ensures the smooth flow of goods, energy, and resources essential to global markets. Of particular concern are the challenges posed by the Houthi movement in Yemen, influencing the security dynamics in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. This strait is a pivotal choke point for maritime trade, linking the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. The conflict in Yemen has exacerbated tension, pushing various countries to strengthen military bases nearby to monitor and protect their interests. Moreover, the shifting global landscape reflects a move towards multipolarity, with multiple nations, including Japan, India, and groups like the European Union, vying for regional influence. Japan's involvement in anti-piracy operations and India's infrastructure investments highlight their growing roles in this geopolitical arena. The growing rivalry in the Horn of Africa and the Red Sea region, thus, represents a complex interplay of strategic interests where logistics, maritime security, and regional dynamics converge. This scenario underscores the broader implications. for global stability and economic development in an increasingly interconnected world.